Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is August 10th of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is plotting apocalyptic, earth-changing events as blood sacrifices offered up to the Jewish holiday of Tish'A on August 11th through the 12th of 2026. So this particular holiday is spelled Tish apostrophe A space the letter B apostrophe AV, and it is one of the major Jewish holidays of the calendar year. And what is imperative to note here, firstly, is that Switzerland is the first Jewish state. It was founded circa August 1st of 1309, and it is, of course, home to this Jewish CIA. And so make no mistake about it that this is the Jewish CIA staging events around the world as blood sacrifices offered up to this particular holiday. The notion that Switzerland is the first Jewish state is corroborated by the fact that the first Zionist Congress was held at the Stadt Casino in Basel, Switzerland back on August 29th to the 31st of 1897. Subsequently, the first Jewish World Congress was founded in Geneva, Switzerland, home of the CIA, back on August 8th of 1936. And coincidentally, roughly 90% of all Jewish holidays fall on Roman holidays, to which blood sacrifices have historically been offered up to. And if we did if we took the last 100 years and we looked at major earth-changing events, such as the start of World War I, the start of World War II, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, the sinking of the Titanic, the nuclear attacks in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, major events. It's suffice to say that most of them, if not all of them, will fall on Jewish holidays. And so these holidays are when the CIA attacks, when they bomb somebody, when they kill somebody, when they declare war, when they murder people in mass. And so a major earth-changing event, apocalyptic in nature most likely, is going to transpire somewhere around the world in the next 48 hours, because already in Asia it is already August 11th, the first day of Tish'A B'Av, and so major earth-changing events are imminent. So according to the Jewish calendar, Tish'A B'Av is a major Jewish holiday which coincidentally commemorates the destruction of the first and second Jewish temple in Jerusalem. So essentially, this is a holiday about Jewish destruction, albeit of their temple. And so, as in keeping with the Zionist tradition of destroying other races and other countries, some sort of major event is expected that is going to destroy the lives of potentially millions of people in the next 48 hours. And that is why the Jewish or the Indian or Hindu god of Shiva, the god of destruction, there's a massive, I believe it's something like 10 or 15 or 20 feet tall. It's a massive statue of Shiva outside of CIA headquarters at CERN, because the CIA is the destroyer of mankind, and this is a destroying holiday, celebrates the destruction, and so revenge by the Jewish CIA in the likes of a major earth-changing event is expected. So suffice to say, or needless to say, this Jewish holiday suggests that the Jewish CIA in Switzerland is going to destroy the world as we know it on the date of August 11th through the 12th of 2026. And this is going to be what they have all these Jewish mystics and all these Jewish propagandists in the media have been talking about, the Great Jewish Reset. And this is their chance to basically to quell free speech, to imprison their political enemies, and to destroy the very world as we know it. And they're going to do it on their holiday, Tish'A B'Av, in the next 48 hours. So exactly what type of event is planned is obviously not known, but I'm going to list the top 10 as follows. And obviously, in the aftermath of this video, it's highly likely that the CIA will circumvent in order to not link themselves to this horrendous events that are about to befall mankind, that they will change their particular plans and execute some other form of terrorism. But this is the top 10 as I see it on the date of August 10th of 2026. First of all, the CIA is planning to neutralize U.S. President Donald J. Trump in some form or fashion. This will likely be under the guise of an assassination event, a terror attack, or some sort of health-related emergency. Secondarily, a nuclear attack is expected. We have to remember also that the date of August 11th is the, let's see, 88, so that's 5. So it's the 44th anniversary of the creation of Al Qaeda back on August 11th of 1988. So this is the 44-year anniversary, and so in a major 9/11 style nuclear terror attack or some other form of terrorist activity by Al Qaeda, most likely chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, is expected. That being said, a nuclear event by the likes of China, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, or Russia is expected. Also, the CIA is planning some sort of major biological outbreak. I just published a report for today, yesterday, an outbreak, a smallpox outbreak targeting multiple airports in Tokyo, Japan, for the date of August 10th. And we have to remember that in the Sudan, in the Congo right now, they have a raging Ebola outbreak, and the plan is to export this particular outbreak to other international airports in Europe, in Asia, and the United States. So a biological outbreak executed under the guise of Ebola, smallpox, or what I call COVID-26, some sort of new unidentified virus, to basically to lock everything down, to pass stay-at-home orders, vaccination mandates, and travel bans. And we have to remember that Switzerland, home of the CIA, is also home to the 3 major institutions that are responsible for executing a global biological pandemic. That is the Red Cross, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, the United Nations, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and of course the World Health Organization, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, just above the lake from where CIA headquarters. So these 3 institutions are instrumental in executing a global biological pandemic, and make no mistake about it, it's not because they care about our health, it's because they want to choke out the U.S. economy and the global economy, so they can install some sort of dystopian nightmare, and obviously that cannot be allowed to happen. Fourthly, some sort of act of war. So this could be like a major false flag attack. This could be like a USS Maine, USS Liberty, some sort of major act of war as pretext for a declaration of war, or World War III is expected. And I'm going to get into those potential scenarios in just a minute. Number 5, considering it is a Jewish holiday, and we know that on the first day of the first day of the Christmas holiday, a Jewish holiday. It's skipping my mind right now. Anyways, on the first holiday of Christmas, the Jewish holiday of Christmas, they staged the Bondi Beach massacre in Australia, targeting a Jewish gathering at the beach. So, of course, this being the Jewish holiday of Tish'A, on August 11th and August 12th, we know that the CIA is going to stage anti-Semitic attacks. This could be scapegoated onto neo-Nazis, Islamic terrorists, or some other right-wing group. But we know that the CIA always attacks themselves, and we see this pattern historically speaking. And so we know that based off of the Bondi Beach massacre, we know that, and historically speaking, if we look back at all the Jewish holidays, and then we look at all the attacks, such as Kristallnacht and all these different attacks on Jews, they always attack themselves on their own holiday, because this is a blood sacrifice to this particular holiday. So that is expected, and it will of course be a weaponized airborne biological contagion. As I've been writing about for years now, the CIA is planning on staging an anti-Semitic pandemic in the aftermath of an anti-Semitic attack. And like I said, this could be a domestic terror group, a left-wing terror group such as Antifa, or an Islamic terror group such as Al-Qaeda, ISIS, or the Taliban. Number 6, the CIA is planning on staging an apocalyptic, earth-changing asteroid or impact event targeting one or more locations around the Earth. This gives them a chance to execute their so-called Great Reset, where they can basically change the very world as we know it under the guise of some sort of major impact event. Of course, they will predictably claim that this impact event brought with it a space-based contagion to which humans have no antibodies. So similar to the narrative of the smallpox with the Native Americans and South Americans, that they didn't have the proper antibodies for it, so it wiped them out. That's what they're planning on doing with the space-based contagion. Number 7, some sort of weaponized airborne biological contagion-related bioattack targeting mass transit-related entities is expected. So this will likely be blamed on Iran or Russia-backed Islamic terror groups, such as the aforementioned ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Muslim Brotherhood, Taliban, etc. Number 8, some sort of apocalyptic earthquake targeting a major metropolitan city. So this particular narrative started with I believe it was a 7.2 magnitude earthquake attack targeting Venezuela back on June 24th. Then last week, we had this major earthquake targeting Japan, which I believe was also 7 point something. And then just yesterday or this morning, they staged this major earthquake attack targeting, I believe, Bogota, Colombia, or just outside of Bogota, Colombia. So this suggests, these 3 major earthquakes suggest that the CIA is going to stage a 4th major earthquake, most likely on the Jewish holiday of Tish'A B'Av. And it will most likely target New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Paris, London, Rome, Moscow, or Tokyo. All those particular cities have been the narrative has been created over the last century or so for a major earthquake. And this is, of course, going to kill hundreds, if not thousands, of celebrities, especially if they attack New York City or Los Angeles, which is also going to be a blood sacrifice. Which comes to number 9, is a celebrity blood sacrifice. So we know that, historically speaking, on Jewish holidays, the CIA kills a celebrity. This could be an actor, an actress, a model, an athlete, a politician, but somebody that the public has great admiration for, and so such as a Kobe Bryant level killing. So people like Michael Jordan, Donald J. Trump, and or his family members, Conor McGregor, Taylor Swift, Cristiano Ronaldo, Snoop Dogg, Candace Owens, Leonardo Messi, Prince Harry, LeBron, Tom Brady, Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, people of that level. Some sort of celebrity blood sacrifice is expected on the Jewish holiday of Tish'A B'Av on the date of August 11th or August 12th. Lastly, number 10, if you follow politics, you know that the world is getting increasingly crazier and crazier because the CIA is basically bringing to boil all these different global conflicts at the same time. So we have the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we have the Israeli-Iran conflict, we have the North Korea-South Korea, we have China and Taiwan, and we have Pakistan and India. And so I believe that on the date of August 11th or August 12th, on the Jewish holiday of Tish'A B'Av, the CIA is going to ignite one of these wars to a full-scale invasion, or some sort of nuclear event is going to transpire regarding one or more of the aforementioned scenarios. But I believe, and I'm going to publish reports about this a little later today, but I believe that the CIA is planning to stage an Israeli attack on Iran. Um, this is not about the weapons program. This is about triggering World War III. Because as soon as Israel attacks Iran, and they're going to bomb the shit out of Tehran and the nuclear reactor, so there's going to be a mass nuclear radiation dispersal event and or nuclear explosions out of Iran. They're going to kill probably hundreds of thousands of Iranians in Tehran. This is what the whole narrative coming out of the Zionist mouth of Benjamin Netanyahu, and they talk about Amalek and their enemies that they have to slay. So when Israel attacks Iran with U.S. weapons, with U.S. planes, with U.S. munitions, they're going to kill hundreds of thousands of people in Tehran. What they did to Gaza is nothing what they plan to do to Iran. Gaza is a pest to Israel, but Iran, they hate Iran because Iran is a true threat to the existence of Israel. So what they plan on doing is massacring tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in Iran, which will ultimately draw China and or Russia into a war against Israel. And then the United States and Trump, if he's still alive, will be forced to defend Israel against Iran, China, and Russia. So that obviously comes down to a major decision by the president if he's still with us. Obviously, if he's not, it would be J.D. Vance. Do we engage the Chinese and the Russians at the behest or over Israel after Iran retaliates? Because you know they will. So that's the ultimate question, and I believe this is going to happen on August 11th. I say that because the numerology, so you have 8 and 1 and 1, right? 8, 11, and 1 and 1 is 2, and then you have 2, 8, right? So it's 8, 1, 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so you have 8, 2, and the war started on February 28th, which is 2, 8, or 8, 2. So this was called reflective numerology. And coincidentally, the United States gifted Israel, I believe they're called Boeing Pegasus Stratotankers, which basically enables the Israeli Air Force to refuel their fighters without having to return back to Israel. So this will enable the Israeli Air Force, and it is huge, it's much huger than they let on, to literally bomb the living shit out of Tehran 24/7 for months. And there's going to be millions of people dead, possibly millions of people dead. And so obviously this is going to outrage Putin. It's going to outrage Xi Jinping in China, and then they will come to the defense of Iran. And then of course we're going to have the dreaded Armageddon scenario, which is predicted in the Bible in Revelation 16:16. And that is obviously why I'm making this video, in hopes to avoid that. And I believe it's going to happen on the Jewish holiday of Tish'A B'Av, on the date of August 11th through the 12th of 2026. So obviously, if the CIA stages any one of these major scenarios or any earth-changing events on the Jewish holiday of Tish'A B'Av on August 11th through the 12th of 2026, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, intelligence officials, and local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.